Hey, I'm Audrey Hope. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Hope for Relationships. I am the Soul Love Healer, and today we're going to hear from Samantha from Massachusetts, who wants to know about her uprising and the end of the patriarchal system. Please join me. Healing is so unbelievably simple. You do what needs to be done, and that's it. Over. Problem solved. Thanks for joining me so we could heal all our issues from the deep level of the soul. Samantha from Massachusetts writes, I know there's so much going on right now about men and the patriarchal system breaking down. I know it is a turning point. I celebrate it and I can't wait for it all to crumble. How can we speed up the process? The spiritual prophecy is that the new earth will be the end of darkness into light. But here's the thing, it must happen with the return of the woman onto her throne. Why is this so? Because it is the woman who is the healer, who carries the mothering energy of love and compassion. And when that energy is taken, we are off balance in the world and with ourselves. And the male energy has tipped us way too much, way too far into wars, injustice, cruelty. And so therefore we need to bring back the soul of womanhood in order to restore and heal the planet and bring in the new earth. Why has the patriarchal system been in place where men have taken over women? Because the truth of the matter is, and this is on a very deep spiritual level, men are afraid of women. Men are afraid of their light and their power. So Samantha, the spiritual prophecy is that the light shall take over the darkness, and we are upon the new earth. But it must happen with women taking back her throne. This is because women hold the mothering energy of love and compassion. She is the healer, the nurturer. She is the one who makes everything better, men to be better men. And so when men take over, we get too much masculinity, and the energy is off balance. And what happens is we end up with war, injustice, and cruelty. Now, the time of the woman has never been on this planet at any time in history. We thought it would happen maybe with a woman president, but now it is happening through a spiritual enema of pushing the woman too far. And now she is outraged, out on the street using her voice and organizing into this amazing activism, which is so much more than about women's rights. It is about the soul of womanhood. Now, why has the patriarchal system been in place since the beginning of time? Because of the deep spiritual reason that men are afraid of women and their light and her power. And so they made a plan. They were going to steal her power, change her story into his story, make her believe that they're the leaders of the land, and she'll never, ever know that her goddess power was taken. Make her blame herself, make her look that she has to fix everything, and make her guilty. Of course, it all begins with Eve in the garden. It's all her fault. Now, this system, this patriarchal system, changes when women change. When she knows the full throttle game, which is that men are afraid of her and that her power has been taken and that she can get it back through healing her self-esteem and not turning against herself. How the patriarchal system ends is when she stops believing the lie and when she does not give her power over to men. Here's my advice to women. Be educated about the game, the brainwashing, the history. Take back your power anywhere that you may give it and use your voice. 2 words that are powerful: no and enough. And strong boundaries. Women stay too long at the party. They fall in love with potential, and it's time now to just leave. When you see the man giving you what I call the twist, turning you around and making you believe that it's your fault. And here's advice to the men. You must learn to express yourself, to communicate what you really feel. And even though the society does not really teach you how to do this, you have to find a way to do it anyway. Amongst yourselves, with each other, with therapists, to communicate what you really feel and stop hiding and stop pretending and stop running. You have to let go of your ego, which is to know that the band-aids and the curtains of monies, of cars, of young girls replacing your wives is really not cutting it. And you have to learn, men, how to treat women, which means you have to learn to listen to her, to honor her goddess self, to stop being afraid of her, and to really know that the king is the man who knows that she is a queen. And so men, yes, the world is swinging, but it's still good, because if the pendulum moves a little too much, eventually we'll get back to balance. We have tried for so long to get men to change, and they don't listen unless they are forced on their knees, unless women leave them, and unless the stakes are high. And maybe now, for the first time, the patriarchal system will crumble, because now it is getting serious, and now you hear us. So, Samantha in Massachusetts, thank you for your question. I salute your question, and I too cannot wait for the patriarchal system to completely crumble. And I hope it happens in 2018. And it is the time of the woman. I'm Audrey Hope, and thanks for joining me. If you have a question, you could write to me on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. The links are in the description box. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can heal all our issues from the deep level of the soul. I'm Audrey Hope, and thanks for joining me. Hey, if you like my videos, and I hope you do, then subscribe and click. Are you gonna click? Come on, click here now. Let's go.